Welcome to this week's news update, your quick, clear look at the stories, shifts and signals worth paying attention to. Let's dive into the week's key developments. Pražská Energetika has completed the trial operation of the largest combined charging hub for electric vehicles in the capital. The hub can be found on Novovysochanská street at Prague 9. It offers drivers the opportunity to charge at public stations that are technologically connected into one unit with the neighboring corporate charging facilities in the Pražská Energetika area. There are 131 installed charging points available.
Prague Energy has officially opened the largest electric vehicle charging hub in Prague, which enables the simultaneous charging of up to 161 vehicles.
This site is unique because it features a high-performance 2x400 kilowatt ultra-fast charger for public use, allowing 4 cars to charge at once. The rest is a slower system for charging corporate fleets, as well as the fleets of our other business partners.
The official ceremony marking the full opening of the charging hub was also attended by the mayor of the capital city of Prague, Bohuslav Svoboda, who praised the significant technological development of charging infrastructure for electric vehicles within the metropolis.
Electric vehicles are gaining popularity globally, their numbers are increasing, and naturally, there is a need to charge them in some way, to charge them economically and to charge them quickly. And hubs like this make that possible because they possess enormous capacity, allowing for rapid charging, and they also provide the necessary space where dozens of cars can simply stand next to each other.
From the viewpoint of the Prague mayor, these large strategic hubs represent a superior solution compared to scattered individual charging stations.
The individual ones are inefficient in terms of quantity. It is expensive and takes up a terrible amount of space.
By the number of cars charging at once, it is likely the biggest hub in the Czech Republic. According to data provided by the Transport Research Center, as of the end of May this year, a total of 68,915 battery electric passenger cars. Prague accounts for 20,152 of those registrations.
The growth is currently quite exponential. This is being aided by support from the European Union and assistance in building charging infrastructure. Naturally, charging infrastructure is crucial for customers and electric car users, ensuring they have the confidence that they can charge whenever they need to, ideally at fast charging stations, and therefore not spend a long time charging. I believe that development is progressing very rapidly right now, and that in the foreseeable future, we will reach double the current capacity.
The number of similar hubs in Prague should continue to grow. The primary targets are unused brownfields or parking lots that can be expanded. Prague Energy aims to build new parking spaces with charging stations as a solution, ideally combined with refreshment or shopping services. In the near future, such locations could be established in Zbraslav, Komozany, Holešovice, and on Plzeňská Street in the Řepy district. These will always be ultra-fast charging stations.
33 people injured in the cold water and on board the vessel, plus dozens of rescuers in action. Prague's integrated rescue system units conducted a massive exercise on the Vltava River. Between the Železniční and Palacký bridges, they simulated a collision between a sightseeing steamer and a small boat. In the following report, you can see how the rescue teams managed the logistics of such a large-scale disaster in the very city center.
A helicopter over the Vltava and banks lined with dozens of rescue, fire and police vehicles. A chilling scenario. Prague's integrated rescue system practiced a response to a simulated collision between a small boat and a steamer. The scenario was based on a real tragedy that occurred 7 years ago in Budapest, which claimed the lives of 28 people. The event was meant to test not only the rescuers' readiness, but mainly their speed and mutual coordination. Crews left their bases without special instructions. Everything had to be as authentic as possible. Siren wailing cars drew the attention of passers-by. The arriving emergency equipment also had to weave between pedestrians on the embankment and maneuver through heavy traffic among the Prague trams.
Immediately upon arriving at the scene, equipment and resources capable of water operations were deployed, and the first priority was the rescue of those people who were in the water. There were 33 victims in the water, and we managed to rescue them all within about half an hour, so we successfully met our goal.
The rescued victims were then taken into care by emergency medical service doctors directly on the bank.
The types of injuries here are varied, from minor wounds to various internal conditions. And of course, we also worked with conditions resulting from the fact that the patients were wet, which means conditions of hypothermia.
Some victims also required treatment directly on the deck of the steamers. The ship's captain was in the worst condition. According to the scenario, he suffered from a serious heart arrhythmia which caused the vessel to crash. Firefighters deliberately chose a ship with a high deck for the exercise. They wanted to test a situation where an injured person cannot simply be loaded into a smaller boat. The medics therefore called a police helicopter into action. It then transported the patient from the deck to Palaki Square, from where an ambulance took him to the hospital.
We have quite a lot of interventions on the Vltava during the year, where we cooperate with the police and the ambulance service, and an exercise like this has not happened for a long time. Thankfully, there hasn't been any such major accident for a long time. But it is still necessary to practice these situations so that if something like that happened, we would already know what kind of problems, what difficulties we might encounter, and what we should all focus on during those interventions.
The entire event was closely watched by observers and evaluators from all components of the rescue system. They recorded every step in detail so that they could evaluate the procedure in the coming days. According to the incident commander, the main goal is to identify weak points in time and ensure that any errors do not repeat during a real intervention.
I firmly believe and hope that nothing like this will really happen in Prague. But if by chance it does, it is really necessary for us all to be prepared.
This was a major annual Prague exercise. The alarm gradually called 17 rescue crews, firefighters from 6 stations, divers, the Water Rescue Service, state and municipal police, and members of the Czech Red Cross assisted as victims in the water.
Prague 20 has presented a study of a new swimming complex which should be built in the Robotnice area. The project includes both an indoor and outdoor pool, but also wellness facilities or sports services. If the current preparation schedule is met, the first visitors to the new complex could arrive around 2030.
Horní Pokernic has unveiled a study for a new swimming complex to meet the long-term demand of local residents for sports and relaxation facilities. The project includes an indoor and outdoor pool as well as other leisure activities.
We have prepared a study which we have presented to our citizens, and it is based on the long-term needs and requirements expressed by those residents. The plan for an indoor pool here dates back to 1985. It was supposed to be part of one primary school, then another in the 90s, but unfortunately it didn't work out. I don't know if it was for economic reasons. But we know our citizens want it. There are long-term demands from them, so we are trying to fulfill them. So we are planning the construction of an indoor and outdoor pool that would then connect, leading into a park area, and there should also be some water features included in the design.
The new swimming complex is planned to be built in the western part of Horní Pokernic, specifically right here in the Robotnice area.
It is a 25-meter pool with 6 lanes. The outdoor pool will be the same size, and the indoor one will naturally meet all the necessary criteria. That there will be smaller pools, meaning for infant swimming, some wellness centers, sauna worlds, and additional activities, such as a small gym and other supplementary services, like a hair salon, so that the economics and operation of the pool makes sense in terms of sustainability.
If everything goes according to plan, the new swimming complex could be finished in 4 years.
If we were to talk purely about how the process should proceed, we have the study finished. In the year 2027, the project documentation could be completed. At the beginning of 2028, a valid building permit and 2 construction seasons, so if everything was as it should be, I think, that by 2030 we could have a new pool.
The study is currently the first step of the entire project, which is intended to expand the range of sports and recreational opportunities in Horní Pokernic in the future.
Prague 8 organized a traditional traffic safety day. The event, which is intended primarily for children and their parents, offered a fun way to remind them of traffic roads, rules, and a number of practical demonstrations.
Traffic competitions, demonstrations of emergency services, and stations focused on safe street movement. That was Traffic Safety Day in Prague 8.
We always organize it in June, shortly before the summer holidays, so that children can refresh their knowledge of road safety rules. It is not just a fun event for families, although it is that, but it is truly intended to be educational and preventative, so they can remember how they should behave on roads and sidewalks, whether on foot, on bikes, or on scooters, so there are no unnecessary accidents.
Children will be guessing songs from fairy tales and various sounds like animals. But of course, because we are at a traffic playground, there will also be sounds of various vehicles. And I have prepared a traffic quiz for them, like when the first wheel was created, how long a fire ladder is, and so on. So at the same time, children will be able to learn a lot of interesting facts about traffic safety and the vehicles themselves.
We were running with Lalan around the stone, and then we had to guess something so it wouldn't be in that educated cult. And then we ran around the stone and back to the start.
There are 3D glasses here where children can actually try out real traffic situations in virtual reality. And then there is a simulator from the UAMK for turning over during a traffic accident. A simulator where you are actually in a car upside down and you try out for yourself how the seatbelt holds you.
It was tough, really. I don't know it, luckily. So pressure in the head. It is very unpleasant. How did you feel while it was spinning?
I felt terrible. It is very unpleasant, and I will lower the seat because my head was touching the ceiling, and that is a very unpleasant feeling.
The goal was to remind kids and adults how to behave in traffic and avoid accidents during the holidays.
Prague is preparing a new ordinance to limit the use of fireworks. The proposal was approved by councillors and will now be decided by the representatives. However, the city did not use the option of a complete ban, which is newly allowed by the legislation.
The new law allows municipalities to ban fireworks entirely, but Prague chose a milder option, proposing a regulation to limit the time for using fireworks on New Year's Eve.
Newly, it would be possible to set off fireworks around the new year, only between 5 o'clock in the afternoon on December 31st and 2 o'clock in the morning on January 1st, which is a reduction compared to the current 48 hours, covering the entire day of the 31st and the 1st. We are doing this to ensure that fireworks fit into that 9-hour time frame, so that it is not so hard on animals and people sensitive to.
Part of the proposal also includes the possibility for individual city districts to decide for themselves whether they wish to implement stricter rules within their own territory. The new regulation does not apply to professional fireworks displays held with a permit.
We have decided to provide city districts with the option to, based on their own discretion, potentially request the implementation of a fireworks ban within their own territory. Several districts use this. Currently, Prague 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 20, plus Dolny Myšlupy, Libus, Suchdol, and Velka Chachum.
According to the councillors, the main problem will not be the wording of the decree itself, but its enforcement and the subsequent punishment of offences in practice.
It is the same mechanism where we set bans that we do not know why, and naturally a part of society disagrees with them, and it is of course a case of Big Brother watching, so of course it will again be a matter of their informants, and it's the same mechanism, we make people inform.
The proposal that was approved by the Prague councillors will now proceed to the meeting of the Prague City Assembly for further discussion.
That's it for this week's update. Thanks for joining us. Stay curious, stay informed, and see you next week.